Hey guys, my name is Barton, and today we're going to be talking about digital fluency. Educators today face a whole host of issues regarding technology and digital fluency. There are ways in which we can expose ourselves to regular use of new technology and make our learning environments more digitally friendly. If we are not careful, we may be missing opportunities to grow our understanding and overall fluency that being a modern day educator requires. What is digital fluency? In my opinion, it is the understanding and frequent use and discernment of technology and its uses. Many of us drive cars that are automatic and no longer require the manual shifting of the gears. It is true that some people still drive manual, however, our overall fluency of driving stick has lowered through the years. Contrary to driving stick, our use of technology and digital devices has increased exponentially. There is almost no part of our lives that does not involve some sort of technological involvement. I will highlight the importance of online navigation, discernment, discussion, and adaptation of digital information and why it is important that we check news and other types of information to ensure that we are remaining digitally fluent. For some of us, learning about technology happened gradually. I remember using Microtype Pro and learning my keyboard strokes in the 90s. It has since been upgraded and still in use today. This software helped address the demands of that particular time. I actually remember using a typewriter for some of my work in grade school. Since the typewriter, this new software helped me complete assignments and typed work much faster. We no longer need the desktop version or a typewriter to complete assignments or take notes. Now the technology isn't just at school, but in the home and in our pockets as well. It may be difficult to stay completely up to date with technology advancing so rapidly, but regular use and exposure will hone those skills. Navigating online can pose all kinds of risks to the untrained user. There are many different ways information can be found and misrepresented. There are articles and photos that may be incorrect or slightly incorrect. However, the only way a reader would know would be to check another source. Photoshop is a great tool for creating funny and artistic projects. This same type of technology can also be used to alter real photographs and distort the truth. Some websites even have sly ways of obtaining your email and spamming you with unwanted offers and ads. Being able to recognize potential hazards and pitfalls is important when navigating digitally. Like driving, our continued use and experience will guide us to notice potential hazards ahead. It is unwise to trust some blogs or sources of information where the text can be modified or updated daily, like wiki links. The sources of information in the past have been generally trusted. However, there have been examples of false information spreading. We know now that many sources of news and online stories must be thoroughly checked and reviewed. The cell phone has replaced not only the alarm clock, but our newspapers as well. History has shown that humans can do strange things when uninformed properly. Mark Wortman from the Daily Beast published an article that illuminates our need to be fluent with technology. Probably one of the greatest hoaxes of all time happened over 75 years ago when Orson Welles aired an updated dramatization of H.G. Wells' Mars Invades classic, War of the Worlds. Many of the listeners at the time had no idea or didn't hear that it was a dramatization. Police lines and operator lines lit up with people calling in frantically. Some people took to the streets and armed themselves in a panic, while some families fled in horror. Some listeners even contemplated suicide rather than face the Martian invaders. Radio was considered new at the time, however, most families did have one in the home. There was not much to compare the Martian story to at the time, so people took it at face value. If those people had heard previous other stories or shows on the radio, they may have had a better understanding of the situation. It is easy to allow others to do the research for us and provide us with our information. For example, an article about the Jussie Smollett case written by CNN journalists Ryan Young, Brad Parks, and Dakin Andone highlights how easily humans are susceptible to false information. The reason why this story and the War of the Worlds story is vital to digital fluency is because we can be manipulated many times even without our knowledge. It would be very easy to simply hear a story and without doing any insight or exploration to take it as fact and run with it. Feelings are often used to convey a certain type of message. A person is less likely to scrutinize some stories when they align with personal thoughts and views. That is why we must be careful we aren't acting on our feelings, but with reasoning and logic. That is why it is so critical that we have a fluency of discernment regarding the digital information we receive. One digital source may say something slightly different than another. However, the only way you will know which source is more valid is if you have done the research and searched for new information, very much like I am doing for this video in this paper. It is vitally important that we challenge and know for ourselves what information is good, what information is not as good, and which information is just plain false. The best way to stay digitally fluent is having conversations, having discussions, talking and speaking with others about proposed bills or news stories or technologies, checking for validation and congruency. Those are healthy ways to start remaining digitally fluent. News is just one of the areas of digital fluency on which we need to focus. We have become part of a digital community when we take an online test, when we review online work, or when we discuss online material. There are many new softwares and technologies that have emerged that connect parents, students, and teachers with one another. It's good to have previous and past methods for communicating and operating, but being flexible to new technologies and change is a big part of remaining digitally fluent in this world. We remember the days of sign-in sheets, but now we have to adapt. Digital learning devices like Quizlet, which allow students to online take tests, quiz each other, review, they're not an end-all be-all, but it is one way in which we can improve our digital fluency and improve the way we teach and correct learning challenges along the way. I hope these sources and topics have helped show the importance of digital fluency in today's ever-changing world, and above how all areas, not just the classroom, are affected by our new digital world. I hope you expand in your own technological world and experience the wealth and knowledge and possibilities that exist right at your fingertips. I hope you learned something and enjoyed this video. I'm Barton, and thanks for watching.